Okay, picture this. You're Arav. You're sitting at your desk, cramming for that massive Class 12 economics exam, when out of nowhere, your screen flickers. A pixelated envelope drops right into the center of your monitor and opens up with a glowing, mysterious invitation. It says, "Welcome to the Indian Economic Gauntlet." Boom. Suddenly you're not just staring at a textbook anymore. You're in the arena. Welcome to this interactive explainer where we're going to absolutely test your limits, simulate some real exam pressure, and see if you actually have what it takes to escape.
I'm going to be your game master today. Imagine a giant, metallic machine rising right out of the floor, just humming with energy. On the panel, we've got 5 glowing levels. The blueprint, tilling the soil, the green miracle, the factory floor, and finally, the borders. Only those who truly grasp the massive shifts in the Indian economy from 1950 to 1990 can bypass the security and escape these 5 levels. Let's go. So, take a look at the scoreboard. We're starting at an intimidating absolute 0. I want you to mentally keep track of your points as we run through this gauntlet, okay? Every single correct answer gets you one step closer to the exit. The tension is definitely real, the clock is ticking, so let's get some points on that board.
All right, let's dive right into this. Level 1 is all about the foundational blueprint. So here's your very first challenge. True or false? India adopted a mixed economy after independence. A is true, B is false. Think back to the immediate aftermath of 1947. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lock it in.
If you went with a true, you survived the first challenge. You'll actually see PC Mahalanobis right up there, literally the chief architect of Indian planning. You know, while they were definitely inspired by Soviet successes, leaders like Prime Minister Nehru knew that a democracy simply couldn't abolish all private property. So we completely rejected a purely socialist model and went with a mixed economy. That basically means the market and the government were designed to work together, fusing public sector planning right alongside private sector participation. Ding! You just leveled up. You've got 2 points on the board, and the gears of the gauntlet are turning. Let's keep this momentum going. Moving right along into level 2, tilling the soil. The agricultural sector desperately needs your attention. What was the absolute main objective of land reforms during this era? Was it A, to increase taxes, B, ownership to the actual tillers, or C, to increase imports? The pressure's mounting here. Lock in your guess right now. And the correct answer is B, ownership to the actual tillers. Now, what's really interesting about this is how the old, totally exploitative zamdari system was visibly dismantled. The government didn't just do this to collect rent directly, right? The main goal was to literally hand over ownership to the actual tillers of the land. Why? Well, because ownership gave those farmers the actual, tangible financial incentive they needed to invest in farm improvements and really boost that output. Level up! Look at that! You are sitting pretty at 4 points. Take a quick second to enjoy that dopamine hit of progression because the gauntlet is about to get a whole lot harder. Welcome to Level 3, the Green Miracle. Here's your question. What was the most absolutely critical requirement for the success of high-yielding variety or HYV seeds? A, heavy rainfall only, B, irrigation and modern inputs, or C, more labor? Just remember, natural rainfall has historically been super unpredictable. So what did this so-called miracle actually need?
You got it. The answer is B. These glowing neon IHV crops were absolutely incredible, but man, they were demanding. You couldn't just sit around and wait for the rain. They required exact, precise proportions of modern inputs. We're talking fertilizers, pesticides, and crucially, a reliable, permanent water supply through irrigation. Basically, nature alone just wasn't enough. Science really had to step in.
Let's actually trace this timeline and see how it builds across 2 distinct phases. Phase 1, stretching from the mid-60s to the mid-70s, was actually pretty restricted. It mostly benefited the more affluent states, like Punjab, and the richer farmers who could actually afford all those expensive inputs. But then we hit Phase 2. The government steps in with these really crucial low-interest loans and input subsidies. This allowed widespread coverage across the entire country, so the poorer farmers could finally access the technology too. Cha-ching! Look at that score rising. You're at 6 points now. You're officially more than halfway through the gauntlet. But hey, don't get too comfortable. The industrial levels coming up are heavily fortified. Now, before we open the next door, I'm going to give you a crucial power-up term. License Raj. This was this massive, overwhelming system of strict government regulations, permits, and quotas. And you absolutely needed them to set up,
run, or even just expand any private business in India. Keep that definition locked in your memory bank. All right, entering level 4, the factory floor. We just handed you the power-up, so let's see if you can apply it. What exactly was the license Raj? A, complete free trade. B, government regulation and licensing of industries. Or C, no government involvement whatsoever. Don't overthink this one, just trust your instincts. What do you think it is?
Yep, the answer is B. You can literally see the red tape wrapping around all those approval stamps and factory files. Under the license Raj, it was just suffocatingly difficult for private companies to grow. But here's the catch. The government would actually hand out easy licenses if you wanted to set up your industry in an economically backward region. So the ultimate goal was actually regional equality and promoting small-scale industries, even if dealing with all that red tape was a complete nightmare.
Boom, you hit 8 points. You are absolutely crushing it. You've navigated the farms, you survived the factories, and now you are entering the final standard level of the entire game. Let's bring this home. Level 5, the borders. This is a very high-stakes question. Which primary policies did the government use to enforce its inward-looking strategy and protect our domestic industries from foreign competition? Was it A, free trade, B, tariffs and quotas, or C, open imports? Go ahead and make your choice.
And the answer is B. The protective shield around the Indian economy was heavily built using tariffs and quotas. So tariffs are essentially heavy taxes on imports designed to make foreign goods super expensive. Quotas, on the other hand, are hard quantity limits on how much can actually enter the country in the first place. Put them together and they effectively blocked foreign goods, forcing a reliance on domestic products. Yes, a perfect 10 out of 10. You've totally cleared the standard gauntlet. Take a quick breath, celebrate that perfect score, but wait, the machine isn't powering down just yet. Uh-oh, the lights are turning red. It looks like it is time for the impending final challenge.
This is the final boss round. I need rapid-fire mental recall from you right now. Come on, sweat this out with me. Number 1, who was the second 5-year plan architect? Number 2, what were the 4 core goals of planning? Number 3, how do you define marketable surplus? Number 4, which states benefited first from the Green Revolution? And number 5, what exactly was import substitution? I just want you to hold those answers in your head for a second.
Okay, powering down the machine, game over. So the crucial point of all this is the final tally. Between 1950 and 1990, India built a seriously incredible foundation. We went from this stagnant colonial economy to actually achieving food security through the Green Miracle. And we built a remarkably strong industrial base. But there were massive trade-offs. The excessive license Raj regulations ultimately ended up suffocating efficiency. It was basically this epic battle of growth and self-reliance versus suffocated efficiency. And that tension, it led directly to the massive economic crisis that forced the 1991 pivot. Now, I want you to take a hard look at your player stats and your diagnostic dashboard. Be honest with yourself. Did you struggle with the names and dates in Category 1? If you did, you really need to go reread those NCRT timelines. Did you stumble on the conceptual mechanics like marketable surplus in Category 2? Or maybe you missed some of the policy nuances and the tricky trade-offs of subsidies in Category 3. The key is to identify those weak spots right now so you can level up your knowledge. Look, if you scored 8 or more in the standard levels, huge congratulations. You have officially survived the gauntlet and you're totally ready to tackle the 1991 reforms chapter. But never forget the arena of accuracy. Knowledge is utterly useless if you can't retrieve it instantly when that exam clock is actually ticking. You have to simulate real pressure with full mock tests and timer-based practice sessions. Which brings me to the ultimate question. Are you truly ready for the next challenge? Don't let your preparation just stop here. Head over to econmaster.in, which is basically your all-in-one practice suite. That's exactly where you're going to find the detailed notes, the interactive quizzes, worksheets, mock tests, and the full CUET preparation tools that you actually need to dominate your exams. Always remember, smart economics, strong concepts, sure success. Go level up, and I will see you in the next explainer.